presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
This is the final home game of the season for the Twins, the last time that they will play here at Target Field, and they'd like to give the home fans a win today against Arizona. Vidal Nuno goes today for the Diamondbacks. He was traded from the Yankees in July and has pitched well for Arizona, but has yet to get a win since that trade. Phil Hughes hopes to pick up win number 16 today. He's making his final start in what has been a very impressive individual season for Hughes. Good afternoon. For the final time from Target Field this season, I'm Marnie Gellner. The Twins have a chance to win this series after beating the Diamondbacks last night 6-3, and Minnesota did so with some help from the bottom third of the lineup. The 7, 8, 9 hitters. Eduardo Nunez, Aaron Hicks, and Eduardo Escobar combined for 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBI, and 3 runs scored. And that helps turn the lineup over, helps keep activity on the base paths. And for Ron Gardenhire last night, he said that was pretty close to an ideal situation for his lineup.
If the guys at the top of the order are swinging well, it definitely bodes well. Get more people on for the guys at the top, and you know, that's kind of how you like lineups to work. You know, you speed at the top and speed at the bottom, and you know, middle guys should be bashers. So, you know, when it works and everybody's, you know, swinging, you got a chance to score runs.
The Twins are hoping to see that same kind of production today to help Phil Hughes in his season finale. Dick and Bert on what is hopefully win number 16 after this.
Is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Ram. Come in and get a great deal during Ram Truck Month going on now. For the 81st and final time this year, the Twins will play a home game at Target Field. Final game of the homestand coming up between the Twins and the Diamondbacks. Dick Kramer, Bert Blyleven, and we're ready to go here for the last home game.
We're ready.
The one-loss record doesn't show a whole lot of improvement for the Twins this year from where they've been the last 3 years. But within the roster, some players have stepped forward and improved in the minds of many quite a bit. And one of them is Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see improvement. And for Trevor Plouffe, 40 doubles on the year. Last night's ball game, 4 for 4. That tied a career high, third time he's done that. Now they're all singles, but Trevor Plouffe, I think we have seen him mature as a third baseman. He's done a very good job there. Offensively, hitting almost 260. He leads the club in runs batted in, so having a very solid season, Trevor Plouffe.
And on the pitching staff, of course, it's been a disappointment, but not as it relates to Phil Hughes. He not only has had a very good year, chances are he's going to be making some history here today.
Yeah, when you go out there, what you want to do is give your club a chance to win, and Phil Hughes has been doing that. How? Yeah, a lot of strikeouts, no walks. I mean, only 16 walks for Phil Hughes, and you see where he ranks. He's got a chance, and good chance he'll probably be the all-time control leader as far as strikeouts to walks. But when you look at Hughes, you look at a guy that the Twins are 19-12 when he starts a ball game. Can't say that about any other Twin starter.
And so the Twins will try to win for the 20th time with Phil Hughes making a start for them. Be a good way for the Twins to say goodbye to Target Field and their loyal fans here with a win in the ball game, a series win, and a winning homestand to boot.
To see him have a good one today. He just keeps pounding the strike zone, and I think when he steps out there today, it won't be much different. You know, he's gonna make them put them on the defense, and that's what he does best. He puts the hitters on the defense because he keeps pouring it in there. He's ahead in the count most of the time, and they have to actually, have panic at bats because of that, and that's because he puts them in the hole.
The Twins invested pretty heavily in starting pitching in the offseason, and while Ricky Nolasco's not pitched to the level the Twins expected, if anything, Phil Hughes has pitched beyond the level that they expected when they signed him to a 3-year deal. We've got a cloudy day here, no threat of a significant rain. There might be a sprinkle or two through the afternoon, but we'll be able to get this game in, we think, without interruption.
Yeah, you see a lot of people leaving the field right there. The Twins appreciating all the employees here for their dedication and work that they do throughout the summer. And there's Kurt Gibson in his 5th season with the D-backs manager. There they are.
I don't know about any other business. I've just been involved in baseball. I suspect there's a level of this in whatever business you're in, but people who put in the time that those people put in have a passion. It's not just a job, but a passion for what they do, and we get a chance to know them. They're wonderful people, very dedicated employees, and it's nice that the Twins have taken the effort here to acknowledge them.
Yeah, they've done that for years. You know, at the end of the year, just thanking all of them for their time, their effort, and all the hard work they put into helping not only the people coming into the ballpark, but just what they mean. They love the game of baseball. Look at the chef right there. One of my favorite.
Well, where would we be without the chef? The Menards batting order for the Diamondbacks. Ender Inciarte has had a good series, and he will lead things off again here today. A.J. Pollock, Jake Lamb, Mark Trumbo, David Peralta, Jordan Pacheco, Didi Gregorius, Bobby Wilson, and Cliff Pennington.
And Phil Hughes on the mound here this afternoon. 4th trying to get his 16th win. He's 15-10. Very good 3.61 earned run average. 19 of his 31 starts have been quality starts. 6 innings or more. Outstanding. First time in his career he's pitched over 200 innings. And you see the walks we talked about in the pregame. Is just 16 walks in 201 2/3 innings. Incredible.
So he can, if he wins today without issuing a walk, he can have the same number of wins as walks, which, if you're a setup reliever or something, that's one thing, but when you're a starting pitcher and you pitch over 200 innings, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it really is. And then you think, well, 16 walks, 1 intentional walk in that too.
Down low, ball 1 to Inciarte.
Yeah, Inciarte, we showed you on a 12-game hitting streak, 5 hits so far in this in the first 2 games.
1-1.
Excuse me, 6 hits. He got 4 hits yesterday.
Fouled back 1 and 2.
All singles, but he does what a leadoff hitter has to do, and that's get on base.
Hughes very good at throwing strikes, right around 70% per start. There's a ball poked foul.
It's always fun to watch Phil Hughes and Kurt Suzuki or whoever's catching a control pitcher. Usually where that catcher sets up, whether it be inside or outside, 70% of the time that ball's going to be in that area.
1-2 to Inciarte.
Curveball.
And a foul. I asked Suzuki about that yesterday. I said, now, have you ever caught anybody like this guy who, throws it where the glove is all the time? And he said, well, yes, actually. And then he went on to rattle off the names of about 3 or 4 guys with the A's who were like that.
Right.
And I said, well, no wonder you guys were good a few years ago if you had 3 or 4 guys that threw the ball over the plate like Phil Hughes. A sharp single to center. Lead off the first inning. Another base hit for Inciarte. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Jordan Schaefer, the anchor man in the outfield, playing in center, flanked by Hicks and Arcia. Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, Vargas. No Joe Mauer on the lineup today. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. A leadoff single for Enciarte, and now A.J. Pollock.
Yes, we saw Enciarte try to steal a couple bases too. He's pretty quick at first base. 17 stolen bases in 20 attempts. And a throw over. Hughes has given up 10 stolen bases in 11 attempts, but also has 16 double plays turned behind him.
Over the inside corner. You look at Hughes's numbers, and then you look closer at those numbers. He gives up more than a hit per inning pitch. It's not like he doesn't give up hits. An opponent batting average of .272. Kept the ball in the ballpark. Just 16 home runs allowed in over 200 innings. Fouled back, 2 strikes. So the one thing you look at, and when the Twins were interested in improving the rotation and they were interested in Hughes, they looked at his whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, and it was a very good mark, but it was improved this year because if you don't walk anybody, you're going to have a low whip.
Yeah, he had some injuries last year, some back issues, herniated disc at the beginning of the year. Not the best a year for Phil Hughes, but prior to that, a 16-game winner a couple years ago in 2012, a career-high 18-game winner in 2010 with the Yankees.
Two strikes to Pollock. And a liner to Plouffe. One away. That ball hit every bit as hard as Enciarte's single. One down. And that'll bring up Jake Lamb.
Let's take a look at the Mall of America scatter report on Phil Hughes. 4th try for his 16th win. That would tie what he did a couple years ago with the Yankees. He's limited walks all season long, and he wants to finish the season strong. Over his last 9 starts, Phil Hughes 5-2 with a 2.53 earned run average. Making his second career start against Arizona. He worked as a Yankee starter last year in April. He got a no decision. Yankees ended up winning that ball game 6-2 in 12 innings. But Phil Hughes against Arizona last year, 7 innings, 2 runs allowed, and surprisingly no walks with 6 strikeouts.
As Ron Gardenhire says, he has stuff. It's one thing to throw it over the plate. Gardy said he could throw it over the plate. He wouldn't last very long because he'd get pounded. But to have the stuff and to throw quality strikes, not just throw it over the plate, but throw it to the frame of the strike zone.
Right, and that's what he does. All 4 corners, up, down, out. That little cutter has come into play.
Oh my, a stop and go stolen base attempt. The Suzuki's throw looked like it barely got over Hughes's head. Taking off Enciarte, but then he stopped because Hughes hadn't broken from the stretch yet, and then he restarted when Hughes threw home.
Enciarte stealing his 18th base in 21 attempts, and watch him right here. He thought he was going to get picked off, but he ends up stealing second base.
Look how close Suzuki's throw was to hitting the back of Hughes' head. Runner at second, 1-1 the count, 1 out. Foul back, 1-2. Through his major league career and a lot of innings, 780 and a fraction big league innings with the Yankees, about 1 walk per 3 innings pitched. But clearly pitching with an awful lot of confidence. And getting a fresh start in a fresh environment. The ability to strike somebody out. He would like to do that here to Jake Lamb. 1-2. There it is. 2 down.
Well, that high fastball, a little extra, not overpowering, 92, but in the right spot, just above the hands of Lamb, and he strikes out.
And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter Trumbo.
Look at the location right there. And Lamb swinging right through it. So Hughes picking up a strikeout.
Trumbo had a terrible time last night with Kyle Gibson, and Hughes would like to get him here and strand the runner at second base. There he goes to third, and there will be no throw. Strike one called. So a pair of stolen bases on Hughes from the leadoff man.
You know, I never minded that, believe it or not, as a pitcher with a runner at second and 2 outs. My goal is to get this guy a base hit's going to score this guy anyway. So go ahead and let him steal third. Use his goal right here. Get Trumbo out.
High fly, center field.
Those sacrifice flies with 2 outs. Gotta love them.
And Hicks, or Santana rather, with the catch in center. Center fielder for the Twins. He was in the first lineup around 9 o'clock this morning that Danny Santana put in there. Ron Gardenhire hoping that the Twins can finish the home schedule with a win and improve the home record to 35-46, which is a far cry from where it needs to be. But here's the Menards batting order with Danny Santana leading off, Brian Dozier batting second, Trevor Plouffe third, Kenny Vargas, Kurt Suzuki, Oswaldo Arcia, Josmil Pinto, Aaron Hicks, and Eduardo Escobar.
And Vidal Nuno on a mound for the Diamondbacks, making his second start against the Twins. Last time he saw the Twins, he was wearing a New York Yankee uniform. That back in late May, then got traded over to the Diamondbacks.
In fact, he got traded to the Diamondbacks while the Yankees were here in Minnesota. July 6th, they sent him to Arizona while the Yankees were here at Target Field. 1 strike to Santana and a swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Nuno ended up losing to Ricky Nolasco in that ballgame in New York, 6-1. Nuno looking for his first win as a Diamondback.
Santana drives it to the left field corner. He'll have an extra base hit on an 0-2 pitch. He gets a double.
Yeah, Danny Santana, who lately has been striking out a lot, got a pitch up and hits his 25th double. Good start for the Twins in the bottom of the first. Quick hands of Santana lining it into the corner in left field.
Santana and his speed at second base, nobody out, and now Brian Dozier. In the second half of the year, remembering that in the first half Dozier was the de facto leadoff hitter for most of the season. There's a bunt and a look to third and a throw to first. And Dozier has settled in the second half of the year into the second spot in the batting order, and number 2 hitters asked to do that from time to time, not necessarily with a bunt, but this is how Dozier got Santana from second to third base.
Yeah, good job by Dozier. That's a sacrifice bunt, so right there. And he did his job and gets Santana 90 feet away with one out.
And now Trevor Plouffe, the infield, playing back up the middle, playing even with the bases on the corners. Very rarely will you see Ron Gardenhire ask a player to bunt this early in the game, and I suspect Dozier did that on his own. One of the reasons they still feel Dozier has a ways to go to be a well-rounded player, because he does pull the ball, and what they want is for him to be able to hit the ball more predictably to the right side. 2-0. Plouffe fouls it off a leg.
Always look at the numbers that the Twins media relations do a great job give us, but when the Twins score first, they're 46-31. So again, you know, kind of the old Gene Mauch theory of try to put a run on the board early ahead of your opponent, and usually you come out a victor.
Well, especially when you have your ace on the mound, and Hughes is, you know, the closest thing the Twins have to an ace. Get him an early run to work with. 2-2 now to Plouffe, facing Nuno, and now a full count. Vargas on deck.
Yeah, Nuno at 5'11", about 195. He tries to get on top of that baseball, create that downward plane, especially with that breaking ball. It's a hard breaking ball like that.
Plouffe takes a walk. 4 singles in the game last night. Now a walk. There'll be 2 on for Vargas. Northland Ford defense for the Diamondbacks. Inciarte in left, Pollock in center, Peralta in right. Lamb, Gregorius, Pennington, Pacheco, and Bobby Wilson behind the plate. Here is Vargas, first baseman, trying to put the Twins on the board here in the first inning. Vargas and Santana each got the night off yesterday. The Twins won a 6-3 ball game. Santana's already contributed today with a double. See if Vargas can do his thing. Big swing at the curve.
And that's the pitch, especially as a right-handed hitter, has given Vargas the most problems. That curveball that breaks into him.
Missing inside again.
Yeah, that more of the slider. So Nuno with 2 types of pitches as far as breaking balls, the curveball and the slider.
Three and 1. Suzuki on deck.
Nuno showing pretty good control this year, averaging 2.4 walks per 9 innings. But he walked Plouffe, and now he's behind Vargas. The Diamondbacks are 1-12 in his 13 starts with the Diamondbacks.
Another breaking ball. A swing and a foul tip this time. 3-2. He's got to come back with it here again, doesn't he?
I would have to think, yes, only because of the swings that Vargas had on those 2 curveballs. Not the slider, but the curveball.
Tried to put a fastball on the outside corner, but he missed and walked him. They're loaded up now for Suzuki.
Bobby Wilson, the catcher, going out to talk to his left-hander.
Suzuki's hit just about everywhere in the Twins lineup. Hitting 5th here. He's had a good year in terms of driving in runs, 58. He's got a chance to do some driving in here in his first at bat today. Outside ball 1.
Yeah, Suzuki came into this year a career 258 hitter. His first full season with the A's was the highest he hit, and that at 279. That back in 2008. He was in 148 games.
Taken at the knees.
I remember watching him when he first came up with Oakland. He caught every game, whether it's 2 night games or a row, day game. Boy, 3. He could catch all 3 games. He was a workhorse behind that plate, and he has been for the Twins.
And another good take on a breaking ball. 2-1.
Nuno's had 8 double plays turned behind him between the Yankees and the D-backs.
Two and 1 to the Twins catcher. 3-1. Arcia on deck.
Nuno coming off a start in Colorado. He worked 5 1/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 walk, 7 strikeouts.
Foul back, 3-2. And this is a big pitch early in the ballgame for Nuno. No score yet, but the Twins have a chance to do some damage here in the bottom of the first. Suzuki fouls it back.
Now, Kurt Suzuki has 1 grand slam in his career. Came in 2007 in Seattle. Has only 3 home runs on the year. Yeah, we can only wish.
And he missed a bases loaded walk, and it's 1-0. Santana's double's been followed by 3 walks.
Kind of a 3 RBI for Suzuki, his 59th of the year.
And a first inning trip to the mound by Mike Harkey. With a decent ERA since the Diamondbacks acquired him, but making a mess out of this first inning here. Arcia of the bat.
Yeah, 0-6 with a 3.78 earned run average. Only 16 walks in 79 innings pitched, but here 3 in a row.
See how Arcia handles the breaking pitches from Nuno here. There's a fastball and a swing and a miss. Pop-up. Infield fly rule might be called. There it is. Arcia is out. 2 down. And that'll bring up Pinto. Pinto, the designated hitter. With Vargas playing first, Joe Mauer got hit by a pitch last night. Not in the lineup today. Hope is he'll be able to play all weekend long in Detroit. But in Mauer's absence, Pinto gets a chance to get some swings in. And because of the situation, a chance to do some damage here in the first inning.
Do a little 2-out hitting here.
1 strike. And now a ball that gets away, and Plouffe started dashing toward home and then thought better of it, stopped about 1/3 of the way. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Wilson knocking this ball down. Take a look at it. It's a breaking ball inside. It gets away from Wilson. And good decision by Plouffe.
Flared foul. 1-2.
It's not an overpowering fastball by Nuno. That's been clocked at 89. But mixing in a lot of breaking balls.
Foul between Scotty Elger and the line. Nuno's already given the Twins 3 walks by Phil Hughes standards. That's a month's worth.
Maybe 2.
And we're just in the first inning.
Yeah, this will be pitch number 30.
Still only 1 run on the board. Outside. Pinto takes a pitch just off the plate. 2-2. John Byrne hearing it from the Arizona dugout, but that pitch clearly down and away.
As a pitcher, you want something to happen here, 2-2 rather than 3-2.
All ball.
Because 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runners will kind of still be holding their position, but 3-2, there they go. A base hit could score 2.
Especially important given the runner at second base. Vargas doesn't run well, and a hit to the outfield might score him on 3-2. Right now 2-2. Just whoa! That time the corner's called, and the Twins leave the bases full, and they get 1 after Santana's leadoff double.
Here in the second inning at Target Field. Kenny Vargas is at first base for the Twins while Joe Mauer takes another day with his sore elbow. Vargas told me today that when he first came up to the big leagues, especially his first handful of games, he said he was very uncomfortable at first base just because the game was so much faster here. Even though he'd played a lot of first base in the minor leagues, he said he had to figure out how to do it at this level, but he has done that. And Vargas also said that Paul Molitor has helped him out a lot. He said those two make eye contact before every pitch. And Vargas said, I don't know the hitters like he does, so I rely on him, and he helps make sure I'm always in the right spot. Dickenberg, Kenny Vargas said he is now completely comfortable, though, as a first baseman here in the big leagues.
Thank you, Marty. Vargas has said he hopes to lose some weight during the winter. We've seen him. Here's a ball dribbled to short. And Escobar over to Vargas, 1 away. And with Joe Mauer not in the lineup today because of being hit by a pitch for the first time in 2 years last night.
Well, fastball, and you see Joe getting out of the way, but and he stayed in, made a nice diving play at first, and then kind of shaking his arm a little bit.
1 down. Pacheco, the batter. Outside, ball 1. The White Sox and Tigers are playing concurrent with this game, and then tonight Kansas City plays in Cleveland. And of course the Twins go to Detroit after the game here today. Here's a short fly to right. Garcia trots in. 2 down. Bring up Gregorius. Season tickets for next year are on sale now, and prices will remain unchanged. In 2015, Twin season ticket holders will receive new benefits, including an enhanced ticket exchange program, convenient access to tickets on their mobile devices, and more. You can find out more by visiting twinsbaseball.com.
Yeah, good pitching matchup in Detroit. It's Chris Sale against Justin Verlander.
Interesting column or editorial, I guess, in today's Star Tribune. Adam Platt talking about the charm of September baseball. Even when the team is out of the race, there's something special about catching baseball before the stadium closes down, the snow flies, and all that. And I just thought it was a very well written, thoughtful article for people who wonder whether, you know, it's good for the season to come to an end. No, it's never good for the season, at least for me. I'm going to miss this place, and I'm going to miss coming here on a regular basis. Right side and through, a 2-out single.
That's a play right there that Vargas will learn, that he's got, you know, no really place to go. But after that ball was hit pretty sharply right there by Gregorius, but he kind of went right toward the bag right away. And sometimes I remember Kent Herbeck. Herbie would always try to fill that hole as much as possible, and he was built a lot like Vargas. And those are things that Vargas will learn. Again, it's your job as a pitcher to get over there anytime a ball is hit toward that side of the field.
Bobby Wilson making his first start in just about 2 years. 1 strike.
Yeah, Twins saw Bobby Wilson when he was with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for 5 seasons. More of a defensive type catcher. Not much of a hitter, a .208 career hitter in 191 games.
2 strikes.
Wilson signed a minor league contract with the Diamondbacks, spent the whole season down in Reno, AAA, hit .267.
There goes the runner, and the pitch poked to left. And Hicks will play it on a hop. A couple of 2-out singles. We'll get the number 9 batter to the plate.
Wilson picking up his first in a D-backs uniform, 1 for 2 now.
First and second, 2 down, and Cliff Pennington.
Pennington in his second season with the Diamondbacks. Twins saw him when he was with the Oakland A's for 5 seasons. Switch hitting infielder.
Guess it down and in, ball 1. Popped up. Looks to be playable for Plouffe in foul ground. And a couple left on for the Diamondbacks in the second. It's still 1-0 Twins. Territory might be higher than you'd expect. That young girl got out of school today and now has a baseball.
Very nice.
Time for you to tweet a photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown during one of our broadcasts, and we only have 4 left after today. Brought to you by AT&T. We'll have all 4 games for you from Detroit. There's a chance with Hicks stepping out of the box half-heartedly and then stepping back in, taking a strike. There's a chance all 4 of those games will be critically important to what happens come October. Check swing 1-1. And so the Twins will be involved in some very important games in Detroit. Hicks pokes it foul, 1-2.
Yeah, as we play the Tigers in that 4-game series, the Kansas City Royals, who play the Indians tonight, then go to Chicago for 4 games.
It certainly looks as if Oakland and either Kansas City or Detroit will be the wild card teams, and the other team, Kansas City or Detroit, will win the Central. The 5-team playoff field in the American League, while it isn't set, I think we have a pretty good guess as to who they're going to be right now. 2-2. Cleveland's faded back. Seattle can't pitch anymore, and they've faded back.
Yeah, King Felix really got beat up last night in Toronto.
Beyond that, Iwakuma struggled. Hicks having a battle to get this second inning started, and another foul, and Nuno had enough battles on his hands in the first inning. Hicks last night continuing to pick up a few hits and get on base.
Yeah, single in the second inning, then an RBI single in the 4th.
Inside full count. Nuno walked 3 consecutive batters in the first inning, yet allowed just 1 run.
Yeah, 32 pitches for Nuno in that first inning. This will be pitch number 40, looking for that first out.
And another foul. Hicks with an on-base percentage from this side of the plate of .394. Pop up to right, headed toward the corner, headed toward Peralta. 1 down. And that'll bring up Escobar. Escobar keeping the batting average in the 270s for most of this season.
Yeah, he picked up an RBI, actually knocked in the first run in last night's victory over the D-backs with an RBI single in his first at bat, the second. 1 for 4.
Strike one called.
From the right side of the plate, Escobar hitting .314.
Swing and a miss. To put it another way, Pedro Florimon, the main shortstop for the Twins last year, hit .221. Escobar has hit more than 50 points better as the Twins shortstop this year than Florimon did last year. That's a significant offensive upgrade.
Oh.
And now Escobar gets hit in the leg, and he'll eventually go to first base.
That ball way inside. Escobar leaping to get out of the way, but it still found him. Well, like a cut fastball that got him right in the thigh.
Santana on an 0-2 pitch dropped a double into the left field corner, and then later in the first inning scored the first run of the game. And so if you label Escobar as the main shortstop for the Twins this year, it's accurate. You can make the comparison from what the Twins got from that position last year. Similarly, Santana's been the most frequent center fielder used. And then you remember last year, Hicks hit .192 as the principal center fielder for the Twins. There were others, Cleet Thomas, and so on and so forth. Twins didn't get much from center field last year, and offensively they've gotten quite an upgrade in that position too. One strike to Santana. And now a ball. I don't know about you, but we're all looking forward to 2015 in the hopes that it's going to be not just a little bit better, but much better.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. In every scenario that I can come up with for the Twins to be better next year, Aaron Hicks is my center fielder, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I for the Twins to be a lot better next year, I've got Santana at short and Hicks in center. And there's another base hit for Santana. Another 2-strike hit for Santana.
Well, you know what, Dick? To me, I look at what I was, a starting pitcher. I look at the starting pitching. If it gets better, it has to. I mean, this year combined 5.12 earned run average by the starting staff. It has to get better. And with the defense improved, and I think when we're seeing these young, talented kids coming up, Twins are scoring a lot of runs. They just need more good outings by the starters. That's what I'm excited to watch.
Here is Dozier.
I think Gibson's going to be better next year. Trevor May. You know, then you also have to look at Mike Pelfrey. He's been working hard. Hopefully he's getting back in shape. He can help out the ball club. I don't believe Ricky Nolasco is going to have the same year he had this year. He's got to be better. And Phil Hughes just repeat exactly what he did this year.
Dozier swings and misses, 1 and 1. Clearly, if this team's going to be better next year, it has to get better starting pitching. But the one area of progress that was made, I asked Ron Gardenhire about it the other day, coming out of spring training, there were serious concerns about whether this team was going to score runs this year. And there were times, periods of time, where they did not score runs. But what we've seen since August 1st is a lineup that looks to be competitive for a run above the 500 mark next year. I think this team will have enough run scoring ability. Pulled foul to be a dangerous lineup. And now then we get back to the starting pitching, though, and how many runs will be enough next year.
Very nice. Nice gift for that young man right there. Big smile.
See, again, kids not in school. I love it. Going to a baseball game, that's an excused absence as far as I'm concerned. Didn't work when I was a kid, but 2-2 to Dozier. And he takes a close pitch inside, full count. Bloof on deck. How about you? If you'd when you were growing up, did you ever skip school and go to a baseball game?
I skipped school, maybe not for a baseball game.
And your parents might not have been aware of it, but
hey, I was out of the house.
That's all they care about?
Yes.
Runners go, and the pitch hit to the corner. But foul by 5 feet.
You know, I keep looking at Nuno. Now, I wasn't with, the Twins. I was on vacation when they played, the Yankees in New York. But Nuno reminds me a lot of Eddie Guardado. Does he not? He's kind of built like him. He's, looks like he's just a fiery type of guy, a left-handed pitcher.
Except Eddie threw more strikes. 3-2 to Dozier. Twins didn't get a big hit in the first inning, scoring just 1 run. See if they send the runners again here with 1 out. Really not much of an attempt by Pennington or Gregorius to hold Escobar at second base. He can now Pennington cheats over there a little bit, but Escobar has been able to get a big healthy lead.
And Santana at first too. You got to watch it in case the throw going over to first. As a left-handed pitcher, they could put that play on.
That's Paul Molitor's job, right? Make sure no first baseman sneaks in behind the runner. Saw the Orioles do that half dozen times, I think, over the years in the 80s against the Twins. Full count to Dozier. There's the inside move, and Escobar doesn't bite. Full count to Dozier. Runners go, and the pitch fouled back. Twins had the bases loaded, 1 out in the first inning. Marcia popped up, Pinto struck out.
I know Placero, the first baseman, playing deep, but no reason for him to play that deep with Dozier up. He's kind of creeping in a little bit right here.
Hit batter and a single and put the Twins in business in the second. Runners go again. Pitch grounded to third. Nice stop by the third baseman Lamb. Safe at first. Dozier baited out. Lamb was able to get the grounder even though Escobar was stepping over the ground ball.
Escobar did a great job, and you know what? I mean, when you're doing that, what Escobar did, it's dangerous. If that ball hits you, you're automatically out. But it may have deflected a little bit away from Lamb being able to see the ball. Watch Escobar taking off right here. The ground ball kind of went between his legs. And Lamb's throw late as Dozier beat it out.
And now Bloof, who drew the first of 3 straight walks last inning, comes up with a chance to do some more damage. The Twins had 2 bases loaded at bats in the first inning and didn't get anything done. Bloof takes ball 1. The third walk in succession in the first was the only was an RBI walk. It came with the bases full. Fly ball, short center field. Escobar setting up for a tag. Pollock with the catch. Here comes Escobar, and the throw, a moonshot, and everybody will move up. A horrible throw by Pollock.
You have to hit the cutoff man.
It's a sacrifice fly, a 2-0 ball game.
Yeah, Bloof driving in his 80th run of the year. And Pollock got behind that ball and kind of airmailed it all the way to Wilson at home, who had to come up to toward the infield. So not a good decision right there by Pollock, allowing all 3 runners to advance. Escobar scores a second run.
Vargas walked to fill the bases in the first. 2 men in scoring position. There's that breaking ball. This time it's called a strike. Vargas swung through a couple of those in his first inning at bat. Now he swings through strike 2.
Nuno throwing a lot of breaking balls. Already 61 pitches.
And 3 curveballs puts Vargas back to the dugout. Twins get another run in the second. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Phil Hughes has allowed 3 singles, no walks, no runs. He's got a 2-0 lead, and he'll face Ender Inciarte to lead off the 3rd inning. Inciarte with a single up the middle, stole a couple of bases, ended the inning at 3rd base, and Hughes delivers strike 1.
Inciarte 7 hits in the first 2+ games. He's doing his job as a leadoff hitter, getting on.
Foul back, 2 strikes. Diamondbacks in a tough spot. They're 27 games behind the Dodgers in a division that's got some high payroll teams. Giants and the Dodgers at the very top of the division. Swing and a miss, and Inciarte's gone on 3 pitches. Before Pollock comes to the plate, our cold hard fact today. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Phil Hughes up there with some pretty notable names when you consider that Hernandez up until yesterday's start I think was considered the Cy Young favorite, and now maybe Kluber will get more consideration. Chris Sale going today. He's pitched shutout ball to the Tigers so far.
Yeah, Phil Hughes 19 quality starts in the 31 starts that he's had so far.
To the right field corner, but foul and back into the seats. 1-1. And another one fouled away. 1-2. He was looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Gave up a leadoff single in the first, a pair of 2-out singles in the second. Fouled back.
Yeah, Diamondbacks very high on Pollock. He started the season, he was really swinging the bat well, and then on June 1st he got hit in the right hand and ended up fracturing his right hand. Missed 3 months. Just activated here in September.
Dug out by Suzuki. 2-2. .36 pitches, 29 strikes from Phil Hughes. Breaking ball tapped to Plouffe. High throw. It'll be, I suspect, an error charge to Plouffe with 1 out in the third. Hughes threw Pollock the breaking ball and Plouffe backhanded it, but his throw sailed high and pulled Vargas off the bag. Error charge to Plouffe.
After Plouffe, his 14th error of the year, sets up, and then you can see the throw high that Vargas has to leap off the bag to get.
Now Jake Lamb, who went down swinging in the first. Missed the inside corner, ball 1. Twins looking for win number 68 here today, and would hope to get at least a split in Detroit to at least get into the 70 win plateau. There goes the runner, and the pitch hit a mile in the air, straight into the air. Sliding into second was Pollock, and he'll have time to slide back into first. I don't know if Escobar and Dozier deked him, but he went into a slide and actually, I think, slid over the second base bag and had to retouch. Saturday, MLB returns to Fox for Derek Jeter's final weekend series. The Yankees taking on the Red Sox. Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates try to hang on to the final National League wild card spot against the Reds on Fox Sports 1. Might actually win the division before it's all said and done. It all starts at 11:30 Central on Fox and noon Central on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And that night on Fox Sports North, we'll have that potentially critical game, Twins and Tigers. Did they just appeal at second base there?
Yes, they did.
I was too busy reading the 40-second promo in 30 seconds. Grounder to short. And a force play at second. The error does no damage. Another scoreless inning for Phil Hughes. the Twins in the second. They could have had more. Maybe it won't matter with Phil Hughes pitching shutout ball. Twins leading 2-0, and Kurt Suzuki will try to clog the bases again here in the third inning.
Fidel Nuno right now 62 pitches, 38 strikes to get 6 outs.
Suzuki, Arcia, and Pinto in the Twins' third inning. Over for a strike. Twins go to Detroit to finish out the season. The Diamondbacks go home and host the Cardinals. Time called. And at some point, while the Diamondbacks are back home, they may call a press conference and announce who their new general manager is. Rumblings that Dave Stewart, the former 20-game winner for the Oakland A's, is going to get out of the representation business and get more directly involved in the baseball business. He's a successful agent. 2 strikes. And one lifted back and out of play.
You know, and with totally La Russa taking over, making a lot of these decisions, I'm sure with other guys in the organization, the owner being one, but bring a lot of his people in.
Saying the other day that Suzuki taps one to third, easy chest high hop for Lamb, 1 down. Some indecision about the manager and the coaches. I would imagine Dave McKay's got to feel pretty secure. He worked on La Russa's staff in Oakland and St. Louis for many years. 1 away in the third, and now Arcia.
Well, they had so many injuries this year to key players.
No team in baseball has lost more games than the Diamondbacks. They won't lose 100, but they could lose 99. Arcia hooks one down the line, but hooks it too far. Oh, 2.
Arcia with 19 home runs on the year, 3 against left-handers. He actually hit one against Nuno in New York.
Held high strike. And Arcia is gone for out number 2.
And Nuno picking up his 3rd strikeout. In that outing in New York, Nuno gave up 3 home runs, a solo home run to Willingham and Arcia, and then a 2-run home run to Trevor Plouffe. So the Twins beat him 6-1.
And now Pinto struck out looking with the bases loaded in the first inning. Outside. Well, that's pretty much the same pitch he was called out on in the first inning, a fastball that looked like it was off the plate. And now Pinto reaches across the plate and taps a strike foul. Last year in September, Pinto hit so well he became a part of the 2014 game plan. And now this year in September he hasn't done as much, and we'll have to I think re-emerge next year to be considered part of the catching plans next year.
Yeah, last year 21 ball games he hit .342 for the Twins. 4 home runs, drove in 12 runs in the 21 games.
Foul back.
But you know, he started the season with the Twins, then sent back down when he was hitting just .222 in 43 games earlier this year.
Did a nice job behind the plate last night. And well, why wouldn't they think that would be a strike? They've gotten called twice on Pinto earlier in the ball game.
You see Wilson sitting there.
Now that did have the corner, according to Fox Tracks.
Pretty good pitch.
And another one fouled away. For the second half of the year, most of it anyway, the Twins had the more prototypical arrangement. You had your regular catcher, Suzuki, and a defensive-minded backup catcher, Eric Fryer. Popped up and out of play. And a lot can happen between.
Did you see where that ball ended up?
Ball carried around a little bit and landed right in the crook of the neck of a guy bent over. He didn't want anything to do with the baseball, and it landed right in his neck.
Reached back and it was there.
2-2. And a breaking ball. Oh my gosh. That looked like that was right over the middle of the plate.
A couple of times in this at bat, Nuno has stepped toward the dugout, like thinking that was strike three.
And then
there's strike three.
Pinto chases, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning.
Or she's not in school. Excuse me.
Not yet. A couple of years away. 2-0 Twins, and we go to the fourth inning. David Peralta will lead off the inning against Phil Hughes. Hughes has given him 4 base runners, 3 on hits, 1 on an error, and of course he hasn't walked anyone.
Yeah, 2 ground ball outs, 5 fly ball outs to go with his 2 strikeouts.
He was well on his way to perhaps a historic season in baseball. 16 wins, perhaps. Only 16 walks. And the best strikeout to walk ratio in history. 2 quick strikes to Peralta. Pacheco and Gregorius will follow.
Yes, a lot of new career highs for Phil Hughes this year. Quality starts, strikeouts, innings pitched.
Poke to left. It'll carry out toward Hicks, 1-1. And now Pacheco, oursoup.com trivia question. The last one at home. We are 80 for 80 at home.
Ding, 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 ding.
Since 1989, who are the only 2 Twins pitchers to record 15 wins, 200 innings, 180 strikeouts in a season? Well, it wasn't Viola, since that would have been before that.
Oh, you have to put Mr. Santana in there.
I'm trying to think what Scott Erickson's numbers were in 1991. He won 20 games. I think he got 200 innings. Don't know about the strikeouts. 1 strike to Pacheco. And now 2 strikes.
How about Jack Morris?
Yeah. He was approaching now in his final start of the year A 5-to-1 strike to ball ratio. 37 strikes, 8 balls. Papa weakly behind second base. 2 down. And that'll bring up Gregorius.
20 times in the 31 starts, Phil Hughes has worked 6 or more innings. That's consistency, and that's what you want out of a starter.
Swing and a miss, and we've talked so much about Hughes and how he has embraced pretty much everything about being a Twin. He loves the area. One of the first things he and his wife did, they bought a house here. They're going to stay here up until the winter months anyway. But
he's a Southern California boy. I guarantee you, as soon as that snow falls, he's out of here.
He told me they're hoping to stay here into November.
Yeah, they're hoping.
1-1. But we haven't talked at all about the Yankees' loss in not having Phil Hughes. The Yankees were desperate for starting pitching. That's the reason they got Brandon McCarthy from the Diamondbacks. They had some holes to fill in their rotation, and it's worth second guessing this whole business from the Yankee perspective, because they could have used a pitcher like Phil Hughes this year. 2-2.
Well, I'm very happy that Phil Hughes decided to come here.
I think he is too. 2-2 to Gregorius.
And that's a lot more important than how I feel about it.
Foul back.
Phil, 28 years old, good frame, 6'5", about 240. Yankees #1 pick back in 2004 out of Southern California with the Foothill High School right there in Santa Ana, not too far from Anaheim Stadium.
Papa backing out of play. 42 strikes, 10 balls. Two and two. The Arizona shortstop. It's hit to center. Santana, stop and go route, makes the catch. A 1-2-3-4. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Mesher and Spence.
call this work.
Yeah, this is as good a time as any to say something we say every year, and it's meant with sincerity every year. We're lucky to work with some of the best broadcast professionals in the business, and on any given night we might have 25 or more people, very talented, very professional men and women who are working very gleefully and professionally to bring you Twins baseball.
Yes.
And we are very lucky to be working with the people that we get a chance to work with.
And we thank them all.
Grounder to third. Lamb has it, and Hicks is retired for the first out of the fourth inning. As this season winds down, you can start looking ahead to next year, traveling to sunny Fort Myers, and the Twins on the official spring training fan experience. One-stop shopping for game tickets, hotel accommodations, whether Bert's condos open for you to come in with a couple of sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Exclusive pregame meet and greets with players, front office staff, other personalities. Learn more. Be ready to book as soon as the spring training schedule comes out. Call 612-276-3824. Escobar hit by a pitch. He scored a run in the second. He's got a 1-1 count.
Yeah, I lost my note up here. We had some carrot cake up here, and I think it was Jeannie Tuffy, T-U-V-E-Y, I believe. But
okay.
I want to thank her for bringing it up.
One and two. Backhanded by Lamb. Sets and fires. Good play getting Escobar by
very nice play by the young 23-year-old Lamb, who started down in Double-A, moved up to Triple-A, getting a good look here in the final months for the Diamondbacks, and he makes an outstanding play at third. Backhanded play, and then putting that weight on that back foot and getting it across the diamond with something on it to get the speedy Escobar.
Diamondbacks don't list him as any relation to Mike Lamb, who briefly played third base for the Twins. 2 down, and Santana the batter. 2 hits in his return to the lineup, a double and a run scored in the first, and then a single in the second. A breaking ball, swing and a miss, 0-2. 7 in a row set down by Nuno after a very uneven start to his ball game. And both of Santana's hits have come with 2 strikes in the at bat, an 0-2 double and a 1-2 single. And now it's 1-2. Popped up short right field. Second baseman Pennington with the catch, and another 1-2-3 inning for Nuno.
Diamondbacks in the 5th inning, and it brings us to the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle. We have $100 worth of scratch-off tickets for Jim and Sharon. Their sign says they are from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, but they are actually from Richville. So, Dick Bramer, you're going to have to get out your map and look for Richville. It is Jim's 77th birthday today. They also celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary last month. Sounds like you had a few celebrations maybe with friends and family, I would guess.
Very much so, very much so. We got 4 kids and a lot of celebrating.
And you had a quick message for Dick Bramer.
Dick, we have a mutual friend by the name of Jerry Reber.
Ah, my old baseball coach.
His old baseball coach.
That's right.
And didn't you tell me that Staples is a suburb of?
Richville.
There you go. And Sharon, quickly your message for Bert.
Bert, I have an older son that looks exactly like you, and he loves baseball.
Oh, I feel sorry for him.
Said he feels sorry for him. Is he a funny-looking kid?
Yeah, sorta.
we didn't want to get into that.
A mother's love. You got to love it. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yes, very, very nice. And you are all here by circle.
A pop-up caught by Escobar, 1 down. Bobby Wilson retired. And that'll bring up Pennington. Boy, Phil Hughes is loving this.
Quick outs.
2 of them quickly in the 5th. Sanford Health injury report. 7 in a row sent down by Hughes. And the Giants a much better team with Pagan in the lineup, but it's going to be the end of the road for him this year. Look at the averages or average numbers that he's put up this year.
Boy, he's been their spark plug, hasn't he?
Richville, Minnesota, by the way, just south of Perham. A little bit west of New York Mills.
What highway would you take to get there?
Well, you've got to take 78, and then you get up to 14 and you hang a left. It's over by Dead Lake, which I've fished many times. Otter Tail Lake.
Are there live fish there?
Yes, oddly enough. I'm not sure how it, what an awful name for a lake, but it's a nice fishing lake. Popped up. Plouffe will chase it. It's near the tarp. And behind the tarp. Hughes has given up 3 singles. He has now thrown 58 pitches, 47 strikes.
He had a start 3 starts ago against the Angels here. He threw 103 pitches in 7 very good innings, 81 strikes.
Flip behind third. Hicks running, and making the catch. A fair ball catch. Just a handful of pitches for Hughes and a 1-2-3-5. Well, our kickstart fans of the game, Aaron Hicks caught the final out and tried to make a young man happy, make his day, so to speak. Dozier taps one foul. Here's what happened.
Yeah, he gave him the ball, and then he said, "You know what? Take it back."
Pretty good arm.
Look at the mother right there. Oh no! Hey, he stayed on top nicely.
Hey, that's what we had to do in Dumont in the Land of Ducks League in town team ball. Somebody hit a foul ball to the seating area. You just had to return it to the dugout. You got a dime for it, but you had to return the ball. Dozier with a batted bat and a strikeout quickly here in the 5th.
And Nuno picking up his 5th strikeout.
Take advantage of the Fox Sports North Minnesota Wild Fan Pack ticket offer during the September 27th and 29th preseason home Wild game starting at $60. You'll get 2 upper-level tickets to the game, 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Here's Plouffe, a walk and a sacrifice fly after a 4-hit game last night, fouled away.
Hey, we want to congratulate Adam Hansen.
Yes.
Yep, he's working his final game for the Twins today. Adam joined the Twins back in 2003 as a bat boy, and he's now the clubhouse assistant. He's moving on to pursue a career as an attorney, a lawyer. Adam, great kid.
He will be a good one.
Yes.
1-1 to Plouffe, and now 2-1. Twins had their chances to put up some big numbers against Nuno early. They didn't. Now he's settled into a Phil Hughes type of groove here. Missing now. It's 3-1 to Plouffe. He hasn't walked anyone since the first inning.
Nuno originally signed by the Indians on the 48th round pick in 2009.
Another good game with a bunch of good plate appearances for Trevor Plouffe. He'll take first base and get Vargas to the plate.
A second walk for Plouffe. The 4th walk by Nuno.
All right, what do you think? Vargas going to see a curveball here?
I think so.
Vargas had a full count in the first inning, and Nuno tried to buzz a fastball on the outside corner, missed and walked him, and then he threw him nothing but breaking pitches and struck him out in the second.
He missed his fastball right there. So you might get one chance at that fastball, but I believe he's going to get breaking balls here from Nuno.
One strike to Vargas, and a little dribbler foul, and now 2 strikes. Contact. Strikes to Vargas with Plouffe at first. Long look in by Nuno. Now he's ready. Fastball away.
You know, when a guy has a swing off that curveball, why even waste a pitch? And that's looked like they tried to do right there with the fastball. You have to come back with another breaking ball here. Wilson setting away again, and there's strike 3.
Vargas strikes out, and now Suzuki.
Nuno picking up his 6th strikeout. They can hit the corner.
Suzuki credit for a run batted in when he drew a bases loaded walk in the first inning. Then he bounced to 3rd in the 3rd inning. Fouled away. Twins have only 3 hits. Santana's picked up 2 of them, and Dozier got an infield hit. It's not like they've knocked the cover off the ball against Nuno here. offensive swing. 2 strikes to Dozier.
Diamondbacks leave here. They head back home, have an off day tomorrow, and then play the St. Louis Cardinals for a 3-game series.
Randall Delgado warmed up, ready to come in. In the dirt, and Plouffe takes off, and he's thrown out at second. Well, the Twins end up sending just 3 men to the plate in the 5th. It's still 2-0. The 6th, and I'm going to look now at our AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in the few broadcasts we have left. Brought to you by AT&T.
Kelly sending a picture of a dog wearing a Twins uniform. Very nice.
I wonder how the dog feels about that. You've had dogs, you've had cats. You ever put clothes on them?
No. How about yourself?
Never had a dog. We had enough issues with our cats without trying to put clothes on them. There's a base hit for Pollock leading off the 6th inning. It's the first hit since the 2nd inning against Phil Hughes.
Yeah, Phil had retired 8 straight. So to speedy Pollock at first base.
Kind of an uneasy feeling for me, at least through these middle innings. It looked like the Twins were really going to fatten up against Nuno, and they didn't do it. It's 2-0. They haven't done anything offensively since, and this game is well within the reach of the Diamondbacks, with the tying run at the plate now and Jake Lamb. Seeing the Diamondbacks try to do some running on Hughes. Ciarte stole 2 bases in the first inning. Pollock at first, 1-0 the count, and a throw over there.
Yeah, Pollock 13 stolen bases in 15 attempts.
Foul back. One and one.
Lamb down in the minor leagues between AA and AAA combined hit .327, 15 home runs, drove in 84 runs in 108 ball games. Last at bat, I said the Diamondbacks very high on this youngster.
Half swing and strike 2.
Signed by the Diamondbacks back in 2012, just a couple years ago, out of the University of Washington. So not a lot of minor league experience, but a .321 minor league hitter.
They're in the 6th inning, no score. Chris Sale, Justin Verlander pitching against each other at Comerica Park. 1-2. And again, Pollock started towards second base and stopped. Hughes didn't look over there, or he would have picked him off. Gregorius was in that same situation in the 2nd inning. Two and two to the batter. Now a full count.
A little cutter missing inside.
Hughes has walked 1 man in September. He walked 2 in August. 3 in July, 4 in June, none in May, 6 in April. Full count. See if the runner goes here. He does. And the pitch popped up behind second. Escobar in a tough play, and that ball's going to drop for a hit. Escobar kind of took a bad angle on the pop-up and ended up landing behind him, and Santana didn't get there, and so the inning starts with a pair of singles.
Well, I think what happened there with Pollock taking off, Escobar, I think, broke towards second base, and then he kind of had to retreat. See him kind of going to go to second, but then didn't pick up the ball right away, ends up behind him. Santana can't catch up to it. And it's a bloop single for Lamb.
The threat for the Diamondbacks. Fox Tracks presented by Dodge. Here's the cleanup batter, Mark Trumbo. Foul back, 1 strike. Trumbo with a fly to center and a bouncer to short.
Well, Hughes with only 3 ground ball outs, 10 fly ball outs. This is a guy you'd like to see if he could beat it into the ground, maybe turn a double play.
He did in the 3rd inning. Breaking ball out in front of the plate, 1-1. He's got the fly ball off the bat of Lamb, but it fell on the grass. Runners go, and the pitch swung on, throw to third, not in time. A double steal, and Plouffe may have gotten spiked. It's the glove hand, of course, the hand he would have tried to apply a tag with.
You see the double steal right there, Suzuki's throw. And Trevor Plouffe. I don't know if he kicked him. Let's take a look right here. Did a knee?
Just flexing the wrist.
Wow. May have broke his wrist.
Move coming off.
Dave Prumer holding his arm up right there. That does not look good.
Plouffe will be x-rayed. Twins will have to send someone else out to third base. I imagine it would be Nunez, but Nunez getting ready. Now on FoxSportsNorth.com, view photos from the final homestand of the year against the Diamondbacks and read Tyler Mason's analysis. Next week you can check back for Tyler's season-ending Twins report card. It'll be Nunez taking over at third base for the injured Trevor Plouffe.
might have snapped his wrist the way that he went down so quick to try to apply the tag. Nunez will get a couple throws until he's loose.
Just based on what I saw, the injury didn't occur with contact with the runner. It was just the snapping motion of the wrist.
That's what's scary. Double steal by the Diamondbacks. That's 4 stolen bases against Hughes here this afternoon.
Double steal will get the tying run in scoring position. Nobody out. 2 strikes to the batter, 2 strikes on the ball. Popped up to the infield. Suzuki surrounding it in foul ground, makes the catch, 1 down.
Big out right there, getting Mike Trombo to pop up.
That'll bring up Peralta. "70 pitches for Hughes. Got a whale of a mess on his hands here after the 2 singles. One of them a pop fly single, but the double steals given the Diamondbacks a great opportunity here in the 6th. Peralta with a bouncer to short, a liner to left. Short left. Hicks retreating. There's the catch, and the throw will come to third base. A sacrifice fly, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, Peralta with his 35th RBI of the year makes it a 2-1 game.
Now with 2 outs, Pacheco will hit.
So the double steal scores 1 run for the D-backs.
White Sox have a 1-0 lead over Detroit in the 6th. And Viciedo with a triple, driving in a run against Justin Verlander. Pitch is up, ball 1. Popped up near the Twins dugout and behind the dugout.
Yeah, Phil Hughes making his 32nd start. His 4th interleague start this year. He's 3-0 in 2 wins over the Padres and 1 against the Colorado Rockies. Looking for his career win number 72. This is his 164th start.
Diamondbacks out hitting the Twins 5-3. Twins haven't had a hit since the 2nd inning. 1-1. Now 1-2. He was trying to survive the inning with the lead. Got him. 1 run scores, but the 2nd run left at second base. It's still a 2-1 ball game. presented by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Your McDonald's has 5 extra value meals under $5, including the sausage McMuffin with egg at participating locations. A 2-1 ball game, Twins in front. Hoping to end the home schedule with a win, a series win, a winning homestand, and there have been enough of any of the above to satisfy anybody with the Twins organization. Randall Delgado will come out of the Arizona bullpen.
Yeah, Delgado in his second season with the Diamondbacks. Fastball, good low 90s. Very good curveball and a changeup, says the scouting report. Making his 46th relief appearance.
And maybe the greatest moment in Kiss Cam history. A couple that had to be told what it was all about, and it took them about 45 seconds, but they finally agreed to kiss. That was awesome. Kurt Suzuki was at the plate when Plouffe was thrown out trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt. And then, of course, Plouffe had to leave on an unrelated matter when he tried to put a tag on a runner and left with an injured wrist, it appeared. We'll get word on the severity of the injury when we get that. Suzuki taking strike one. And strike two.
And 92 mile-an-hour fastball for strike one, 94 for strike two. Delgado from Panama, signed by the Braves back in 2006, traded over a couple years ago.
Just off the plate, 1-2. Twins have only 3 hits. They came in the first 10 plate appearances. There were 3 hits, 3 walks, and a hit batter in the first 10 plate appearances. Swing and a miss. And Suzuki's bat came around and clubbed Wilson in the helmet. 1 down.
And the ball ended up down and in, and Suzuki just trying to, I think, foul this ball off where this pitch is, down by his right foot. And in the backswing, getting Wilson's helmet. Looks like he's all right.
Here is Arcia. Pop up to second and a strikeout. Down and in, ball 1. Foul back, 1-1. This ballpark, field in particular, will have an opportunity to breathe and recover a little bit after a very event-filled season in 2014. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, good changeup right there. Delgado last year a starter for the Diamondbacks. This year made 4 starts for him, making his 46th appearance overall.
And a pop up over the Arizona dugout, out of play. Sailing outside with a fastball, 2-2. Fastball gets him 2 down.
Delgado came into this game averaging over a strikeout an inning and strikes out the first 2 batters he faces. Just a good old country hard fastball right there through the swinging Arcia.
We'll bring up Pinto. Last 4 outs of, well, not last 4 outs at the plate have been recorded on strikeouts. There was the throw out of Plouffe at second base. Strike on the outside corner. One and one. Popped up behind first. Peralta coming in, and he makes the catch. And a 1, 2, 3, 6. And the Twins have not had a hit since the second inning. Story of the game, and the Twins getting a couple of early runs.
Yeah, thanks to a bases loaded walk. Suzuki picking up an RBI, then a sacrifice fly in his second inning off the bat of Trevor Plouffe. Phil Hughes 5 shutout innings, and then back-to-back singles, a double steal, and then a sacrifice fly. Scored the only run for the Diamondbacks so far off the Hughes. Phil has thrown 75 pitches, 59 strikes.
Yeah, we got a little maybe added intrigue when we get to Detroit. Gregorius leading off the 7th. Chris Sale apparently is suggesting while he's pitching that the Tigers are getting pitches tipped to them from the outfield at Comerica Park. So we'll have to keep an eye on that when we get there.
Well, they're not getting them very good because he's still shutting them out.
1-1 to Gregorius. Bottom third of the Diamondback lineup, Gregorius, Wilson, and Pennington here in the 7th inning.
Oh, just told that Detroit tied the game. Sacrifice fly.
Strike 3. Suzuki with the throw. 1 down.
Phil Hughes picks up his 4th strikeout.
Next year's regular season schedule is out, and it's not too early to start thinking about games you might want to attend here at Target Field. The home opening series is April 13th, 15th, and 16th against the Royals. 20 interleague games next season, including a home weekend series against the Brewers, June 5th through the 7th. Find out more about the schedule at twinsbaseball.com. Wilson with a single to left back in the 2nd inning, and then a pop up to short. The pitch count significant for Hughes. This will be his 80th pitch. 3 times this year he has pitched 8 innings. He's never pitched more than that. If today he can pitch 8 1/3 innings, he has a rather hefty incentive bonus that he will have qualified for. So he will have to have his longest start of the year in his last start of the year. And the Twins, of course, are very careful with these things. There is the factor that, you know, this is his last start. He's not going to make another start, so pitch count might be, if not thrown out the window, at least expanded. And here he is with 80 pitches thrown, and he's gotten 19 outs.
Well, you know, if they expanded the pitch count a little earlier this summer, he wouldn't be going through this.
See, well, I wanted to inform our viewers. What I really wanted to do was to pick at that scab one more time here at home.
Go ahead.
To right center field. And a sliding catch by Arcia. 2 down.
Very nice catch off the bat of Wilson. Arcia came in and slid and made the catch. Good concentration. Open glove. Right in the middle.
Open glove, closed eyes. It worked.
Whatever it takes.
2 down, and now Pennington. And strike 1.
You know, back then, if I had 210 innings in, and
yeah, that by Labor Day, didn't you? There's a pop up behind second.
Probably be in AAA.
Dozier out, and it's Santana. 9-pitch, 7th inning. Good news for Bill Hughes.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Aaron Hicks will lead off the 7th inning, and I think everyone would feel a whole lot better if you're in Twins territory and you're cheering for the Twins and you want them to win. Everyone would feel a whole lot better if the Twins would score the next run. Hicks, Escobar, and Santana will try to do something about that.
Randall Delgado in his 2nd inning of relief, a couple strikeouts in his 1st inning.
Put away ball 1. Swing and a miss by Hicks, 1-1. Delgado at a 1-2-3-6 with a pair of strikeouts. 1-2.
I just found out that it's not official yet. Well, now it is official. Trevor Plouffe fractured his forearm, out for the season.
Goodness.
That's what I was afraid of, the way that he reacted.
Light rain is following here, and some of the fans seeking shelter. Just the way he reacted so immediately, you could tell it wasn't good, and that's a terrible development for Trevor. So his season numbers will be done. Just outside now, 3-2 to Hicks. And it's starting to come down a little heavier now. Hicks chips his bat and rolls one foul, apparently right off the end of the bat.
Yeah, a lot of bats are cupped, and that's where you see Aaron Hicks taking his bat back, giving it to Mo, the bat boy.
Another 3-2 pitch coming to Hicks. Jones would love to get his speed on the bases here. Give Hughes a little breathing room as he hopefully pitches through the final innings here. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
That I don't think hit anybody.
That was right over the railing, and it was by somebody standing right there. That was scary.
That was in and out, coming out of the dugout faster than anybody could react to it coming in. Another 3-2. High chopper right back to the pitcher, and Delgado makes the play, one down. We'll bring up Escobar. Now's the time to renew your season tickets or become a new member of the season ticket family next year. Along with the usual matchups against the division rivals, the Twins host National League favorites Milwaukee, the Cubs, Cardinals, all here at Target Field next summer. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Find out more about the great 2015 schedule. Escobar takes strike one. Twins at bats have just been unfruitful. Even in the first and second inning, they had a chance to do a lot of damage and all but put this game away.
Yeah, they left the bases loaded in the first and a couple runners on in the second. Both of them in scoring position.
And Escobar punches a foul out of the mid of Wilson. Escobar hit by a pitch, a couple of singles and a fly ball brought him in. The Twins don't have a run producing hit here. First run was scored on a bases loaded walk. Now in the dirt, 1-2. Seems like there's more weather like this in the final home game of a year than there should be. 1-2. Half swing. Did he go? Nope. It's kind of a gloomy day anyway. If you love baseball, you don't want the season to end, and so this is a sad day to start with. And now we got a gloomy day weather-wise. 2-2. And a one-hopper hit to Pennington. I always thought it was appropriate then that when Met Stadium hosted its last baseball game, it was a day kind of like the way it is right now. Kind of a cold, rainy day, and a lot of us didn't want Met Stadium to go away, and it was going to go away, and we went to the game and we got wet.
It's 1981.
Yeah, it was this right the way it is right now. This is kind of how Met Stadium went out. 2 down. Here's Danny Santana. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Santana with 2 of the 3 hits. A double in the first inning and a base hit in the second. He's the only one that's actually got a base hit out of the infield. Brian Dozier's base hit, an infield base hit. beat out.
Inside 2-1. Top of the 7th. Now the top of the 7th is done. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Tied at 1 in Detroit. 1-1. He was ready to go back out there for the 8th inning. Pulled foul. You think of the Tigers and how many games they will play if they get into postseason. How many games they'll play, just like the one they're playing right now against the White Sox, where it'll be a low-scoring game, a well-pitched game, and you'll go, well, the other guys have the advantage because now the game's going to be turned over to the bullpens. There's a fly to left, deep left. That's over the head of Enciarte, and Santana gets a ground rule double. Twins have 4 hits, and Santana has 3 of them.
And 2 of them being doubles, now with 26 on the year. So with 2 outs, he gets into scoring position for Brian Dozier.
It was another 2-strike hit, too, wasn't it?
Yep. Ball up, and Santana just took it the other way. See the high fastball?
Dozier, the batter. Need to back up 2 out hit here by Santana with 1 by Dozier. Off the plate, ball 1. There's the outside corner, 1-1. Pretty steady now. Foul back. And went into the press box and back out, and then all the way down to the level below. One and 2 to Dozier. Another wicked foul ball pulled this time off the bat of Dozier. A few moments ago, Hicks sent a screaming line drive into the Arizona dugout. Two. Watch out into the camera well. Sure hope Marnie's not down there.
Marnie's hiding somewhere.
And 2. And Dozier strikes out to end the 7th inning. On to the 8th and a 2-1 game. Hughes giving it a dry run on a couple of steps. The infield is glistening. It's taken on a lot of water here in the last 20 minutes. And we are about to start, we hope, the 8th inning, but the infield does not look real good right now. And while Phil Hughes just begins his warm-up tosses now, we'll go back to our carsoup.com trivia question. Are the only two Twins pitchers since '89 to get 15 wins, 200 innings, 180 strikeouts. It's
Johan Santana.
And I'll go Erickson, you go Morris. Well, Phil Hughes. Well,
very good.
Yeah.
But we got one, so ding, 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 ding. We're 81 for 81.
The radar showing that this will pass over, but the question is at what cost? Because the infield right now is looking pretty slick. And Hughes has the benefit of working on a pretty dry mound.
Yeah, biggest thing for a pitcher is, of course, more your landing foot. Make sure that that is solid.
I think everyone understands the two. What's the best way to put it? I think both teams are ready to end this game and move on. But I've never seen here at Target Field any ball being played with the infield looking the way it's looking right now. It'll be Inciarte, Pollock, and Lamb.
Yeah, top of the lineup for the D-backs. 84 pitches for Phil Hughes.
Bunted in the air, and Farkas comes in to get the out. One down. So Hughes again will take that. That's now 85 pitches thrown.
Yeah, Inciarte tried to take that ball with him towards second base, but got underneath it and popped it straight up on the bunt.
Here's A.J. Pollock. First pitch strike. And again, the intrigue surrounding Hughes, and if he can pitch at least 8 1/3 innings here today, he's got a hefty bonus attached to his season salary. Breaking ball over for strike 2. Fouled away. Hughes has gone about his business much as he has all season long. Quick innings, throwing strikes. 88 pitches, incredibly. 71 strikes. No walks. He has a chance today to pick up his 16th win for the season with only 16 walks all season. Outside, 1-2.
It's almost Greg Maddux type control this year. Brett Saberhagen had excellent control. Throwing strikes.
Just missed. Suzuki held it, but John Byrne wouldn't call it. 2-2.
Straight over the top, the angle.
Perfect pitch.
Wow.
And that's something that the umpires will be looking at here as we try to play through a pretty hard rain shower. Batter lost his grip of the bat. And it would almost be a blessing at this point if no one got on base, because I don't think the base paths are going to be very navigable. Two and two. Chopper. Dozier slogs through the mush and makes the play. See, he had problems with that ball. You're not sure of the hop. You're not sure of your footing. You're not sure of anything, but he was able to make the play.
You see the shine of the infield right there, the wetness.
Jake Lamb singled and stole the bases last time up. Popped up, backing out of play. Don't get this very often in Arizona in a dome stadium. Popped up another foul ball into the seats. Tigers got a run, bottom of the 7th. Imagine what would happen if the White Sox were to win this afternoon with Kansas City playing tonight in Cleveland and a chance to play into a first place tie going into the weekend. Right now, Detroit leads it 2-1. I don't know what they're going to do between innings. Vargas is playing in a mud puddle at first base. He's sloshing the water back and forth between his feet. 1-2 on the outside corner. For the 4th time this year, Phil Hughes has completed 8 innings with great incentive for him to go out for the night.
Twins lead, and coming up after the game we'll bring you our post-game show, Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, where we will look at this Phil Hughes outing. He has gone 8 innings so far and has not walked a batter. We had just begun a rain delay, though, so it'll be very interesting to see how Phil Hughes' day ends up this afternoon. We'll also take a look at Danny Santana at the plate. Another 3 hits today, 3 for 4 for Santana, plus news from inside the clubhouse, including reaction from Ron Gardenhire and reaction to Trevor Plouffe and his broken forearm that happened earlier today. So a lot to come in Twins Live a little bit later. Dick and Bert?
Well, they wasted little time once Hughes got the strikeout to end the top of the 8th inning. The tarp came onto the field. Again, the radar shows that this will pass shortly, but the infield will need some treatment before we resume. And Phil Hughes, 1/3 of an inning short of a big incentive bonus. I don't think there's much of a possibility, but it exists that this game wouldn't be resumed at all. But with the forecast being what it is, we would expect that we will have a bottom of the 8th and top of the 9th with the Twins in front 2-1.
Yeah, today's attendance announced 29,445. So the season attendance 2,250,606. Twins thank all the Twins fans. Take a look at Phil Hughes today. Gave up 5 hits, 3 of them coming in the first 2 innings, and then the other 2 in the 6th inning. No walks, 5 strikeouts. So typical Hughes throwing strikes. 96 pitches. Phil Hughes.
It's just dripping wet coming off the field. And so, assuming we do resume play, and assuming Phil Hughes does go out for the 9th inning, he'll have drier clothes by then. The Twins hoping to finish this homestand with a 5-4 mark. It would be home win number 35 on the year against 46 losses. We'll take a break and update you with what information we have at the other end of the break here at Target Field.
on Monday. Threw 25 pitches, 17 for strikes with a walk and a strikeout.
Elsewhere, the Tigers finished off a 6-1 win over Chicago, so we know this much, that when the Twins open up the series in Detroit tomorrow, they'll be the only team standing between the Tigers and another division championship. Detroit will be no worse than a game up on Kansas City when that series starts tomorrow. A casualty of this game, unfortunately for the Twins, Trevor Plouffe, whose spot in the batting order is due to lead things off in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Eduardo Nunez who will hit instead. Plouffe suffering a fractured left forearm on a tag at third base.
Yeah, that happened in the 6th inning on a double steal. And the injury update on Trevor Plouffe, fracturing his left forearm in the 6th inning today. And those are his final numbers. Of course, his season is done, but a very solid year for Trevor Plouffe. Picked up 4 hits yesterday. Here today, drove in the second run on the sacrifice fly. Had a couple walks, but all in all, a solid season for Trevor Plouffe.
And he will take into next year a string of 7 straight at bats where he's reached base. 3 walks, the 4 singles last night. Also drove in a run with a fly ball, and right now that second inning run is the difference in this game. So getting ready to resume play in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Nunez, Vargas, and Suzuki. And Jared Burton warming up down in the Twins bullpen.
Yeah, we saw Marshall here on Monday night, as I mentioned, a good sinking fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. So all 4 pitches from this youngster right here, 24 years old in his rookie season. Played his college ball out of Kansas State, signed by Arizona in 2011.
Nunez with his first plate appearance. And a fastball outside, ball 1.
Nunez started at third base in last night's ball game. Got a couple hits in 4 at-bats.
Popped up short right field. Pennington rather, with the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Vargas.
Yeah, this game was delayed an hour and 6 minutes.
Okay. Gave us a chance to eat some more of carrot cake and fatten up a little bit for the long, cold winter ahead.
Oh, I thought you meant maybe for the plane ride to Detroit.
I think we'll get fed there too. Here's Vargas. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Both of those as a right-handed batter. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. Down and away, 1-1.
I bet you they put probably 200-300 bags of that diamond dust on the infield, because we showed the shine of the infield, how wet it was. Again, a great job by the ground crew.
We played the top of the 8th inning, and really poor field conditions. There wasn't anything anybody could do about it. The umpires were trying to get through the inning, and hopefully it would stop raining and maybe be able to complete the game without the delay. But it was a very good thing, I think, that the Diamondbacks went down 1-2-3 in the 8th inning with nobody having to run the bases, because the infield looked treacherous from up here. 1-1 to Vargas. Checked his swing.
Well, people that were watching remember Brian Dozier got that ground ball to second base, and he kind of had to high step just to keep his feet on the ground.
The count is 2-2 to Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas in his first at bat as a left-handed hitter. there's Jared Burton. Hitting 325 as a left-handed hitter.
And Vargas strikes out from the left side of the plate. 2 down.
And 3 strikeouts of Vargas here this afternoon.
Getting him a day off yesterday.
Well, good fastball, middle in. Vargas swinging through it.
Suzuki walked in the first with the bases loaded. That scored the first Twins run. He got credit for an RBI since then. A bouncer to third and a swinging strikeout. And a strike on the outside corner. Bouncer to short. Gregorius has it. And that's the end of the 8th inning. It'll be Jared Burton who'll try to finish off a Twins win in the last home game of the year. Home game of the year, rain delay of just over an hour, and Phil Hughes with 8 wonderful innings, and Jared Burton will come on to try to pick up the save.
Yeah, Jared Burton worked in last night's ball game. He threw a lot of pitches out of that 1 inning. He did give up a run, an unearned run with a walk, a couple strikeouts. Threw 25 pitches, 17 for strikes. Twins won the game 6-3.
Twins have Chris Parmelee at first base. A few fans have hung through the rain and the rain delay to watch the final, we hope, final outs here of the 2014 home season.
Yeah, Burton looking for his 3rd save. His last save coming in Cleveland back on September 9th. His first save coming against the Chicago White Sox here back on June 22nd. Of course, Glenn Perkins out for the rest of the year.
Middle of the Arizona batting order, Mark Trumbo, then David Peralta, Jordan Pacheco. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. And a first pitch strike.
And Burton with a fastball, slider, and a very good changeup.
One and one. Twins scoring a run in the first, run in the second. Obviously haven't scored since. pounded foul. Trumbo gone on strikes.
Good fastball away, and Trumbo strikes out. Good first out for Jared Burton. Burton looking for his 9th career save. Excuse me, his 10th career save. He has 7 coming into the year, all with the Twins, and 2 this year. Plus, if he gets a save here, 7 plus 2 plus 1 is 10. By myself.
Peralta takes outside ball 1. Peralta drove in the lone Arizona run with a fly ball in the 6th. Swing for a strike. 1-1.
That's a changeup right there. Almost looks like a split finger. I know when Burton first came and started throwing that, we thought it was a split finger, but it's a circle changeup. Got great movement on it.
It's kind of like the changeup that King Felix Hernandez has. Drops straight down. There's a tapper
like that again.
Foul. 1-2.
He throws it a lot.
You think of the great changeups that we've had here with the Twins, Viola and Santana. There was a big separation between the fastball and the changeup. In Santana's case, almost 20 miles per hour. But this is just, 4 or 5 miles per hour difference.
But a lot of movement.
1-2. 2-2.
And there's a fastball at 91. We've seen the changeup at 85 to 87. Burton wanting a new ball.
Two to Peralta. Full count. Pacheco on deck. High fly to right. See it back a couple of steps. 2 down. And that will bring up, with 2 out, first baseman Jordan Pacheco. The most popular way to follow September pennant races is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcasts, and the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. First pitch strike over the inside corner. Pacheco bluffing a bunt for some reason.
Burton trying to save the ball game for Phil Hughes. It would be win number 16 on the year for Hughes.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
What's left of the 29,000 plus crowd on their feet.
In the dirt. Down the line. That's a fair ball. Might be extra bases. Arcia fires it back in. And it is a double with 2 outs in the 9th. Diamondbacks down to their last strike. And Pacheco delivers.
It looked like a high fastball. Pacheco with his 10th double is hitting it down into that right field corner.
Baltimore beat the Yankees 9-5, officially eliminating New York from the postseason.
See the high fastball about chest high.
Gregorius, the batter, had a good series. 1 for 3 today. Outside, ball 1. Have actually been out hit here today. 6-4. Nick Ahmed running for Pacheco. One and 0. 2-0. Way out in front of the changeup. That's the type of swing, as badly as he missed it, that's got to stay with the hitter for a while, I would think, at least through the rest of the at-bat.
Well, he's looking fastball right there. You know, 2-0, and then Burton pulled the string.
2-1. Jack swing, foul, 2-2. And again, Arizona down to its last strike.
Well, you wait around, you get a souvenir. Final game here in 2014 at Target Field for the Twins.
Foul back. Another 2-2 to Gregorius. Dozier ends the season at home. And the Twins end up winning the series and their final home game of the year.
Yeah, great outing by Phil Hughes. Game time 2 hours and 31 minutes plus an hour and 6 minutes. But hey, a good win for the Twins.
Tom Hanneman and the Twins started the home schedule with a 5-4 homestand, and they finished the home schedule with a 5-4 homestand.
Dick, it was a rainy afternoon at Target Field where Phil Hughes showered strikes on the Diamondbacks en route to a win. Twins win. We'll break it all down next on Twins Live.